Hey everyone, it's Legal Vices. Welcome to my channel. A little bit of news, Korean news, and a little bit of legal news today. Starting fresh right out of the gate. BTS has disbanded. BTS has broken up. They are no more.
I'm having my Korean panic attack.
Uh, it is true, and this may be the first and last time anyone ever hears me talk about BTS here. But let's give it a go. For, for those of you that have been living under a rock or aged as myself, you may not be aware of how much of a global cultural impact BTS has. They're the Korean Beatles. They're sort of the Beatles of the K-pop world. They've smashed all kinds of records. They have huge following called the Army. They were the bee's knee. They were the shit. They were it as far as K-pop and boy bands go throughout the world. Millions and millions of swooning fans, boys, girls, women, hopefully not a lot of men, but yeah, they were out there. BTS's following is massive and global. One of the BTS members is here in Busan, and on his birthday, the fan clubs, they pool their money to have fireworks festivals on the beach to celebrate his birthday. They have these things all over the place. BTS is one of the, if not the hugest thing to come out of Korea. And on that note, they have disbanded. The BTS army is suffering a tragedy of epic proportions. And on that note, let's look into this story in a little bit more detail. We'll bring this up on a bigger screen. Scroll back up to the top. Korean K-pop superstars BTS announced split, pledge to return someday. When will they return? Let's find out. South Korean supergroup BTS is to go on temporary hiatus, so its members can pursue solo careers. That's the end of most supergroups. They all look at the Eagles, people like that. They split up, they go on to do their solo careers. And whether they get back together again or not is still to be seen. So they want to pursue their own solo careers. The news came as the 7-man group hosted their annual Festa dinner, which celebrates their founding. That's how big they are. They have parties to celebrate their founding. In emotional scenes, band member RM revealed the news, saying they all needed a chance to explore their own music. He, Jimin, J-Hope, Suga, Jungkook, V, and Jin originally formed the band in 2010 and went on to mega stardom through songs such as Dynamite, Mic Drop, Boy with Love, and Butter, reinventing their sound several times in the process. I always thought BTS was different from other groups, but the problem with K-pop and the whole idol system is that they don't give you time to mature, said RM. And he took a lot of flack for saying this. You have to keep producing music and keep doing something. We should spend some time apart to learn how to be one again. Added J-Hope. I hope you don't see this as a negative thing and see it as a healthy plan. BTS will become stronger that way. So they're going to become stronger by breaking up. Again, time will tell whether or not they get back together. Jimin paid tribute to BTS fans, many of whom are known as the Army. And I know some of my regular viewers are part of the Army. And Jimin also added, now we're starting to think about what kind of artists we each want to be remembered by our fans. They used the Festa dinner to reminisce of their long time together and promised to reunite in the future, with Suga keen to point out that the band was on hiatus and not officially finished, saying it's not like we're disbanding. It sounds a lot like they're disbanding to me. We're not going to be together anymore. We're not going to work together anymore. We're going to do solo careers. We might be back together someday. That sounds a little bit like they broke up to me. But one of the other band members has released his statement. They've all released a lot of statements, but I just want to focus on this one particular statement here to get a little bit more insight into what's going on. This is BTS's Jin. BTS Jin opens up about building confidence on his own as band takes a break. I can handle this. We can handle this too, Jin. Thank you for your care and concern. BTS vocalist Jin is opening up about his newfound confidence. they're all BTS vocalists, aren't they? They don't play any instruments. They dance, rap, and sing. During an interview with Weverse magazine released Tuesday after BTS announced they would be going on a temporary hiatus, Jin opened up about building confidence and finding a balance between his role in this group and his personal life. That's something that if you aren't aware of K-pop and how all this thing works, these guys have ridiculous schedules. I mean, these kids, when they start out and they're as teenagers, and they have these schedules that are 17, 18 hours a day. They're on every television program. They're doing photo shoots. They're doing meet and greets. They're shooting commercials. They're doing all kinds of things, traveling the globe on these schedules that have caused some people to delete, some of the stars to delete themselves from the gene pool. People that suffer from exhaustion, and they have mental distress from the schedule they're under. But that's the price you pay for fame here. That's the price of fame in K-pop land. But we got that part there. It used to be that anytime I had to do something, I thought it was such a big deal. Like, how can I handle this big right now? Something this big right now, Jin 29 told the outlet. I would always feel discouraged, but my personality has changed a lot now. I think the biggest change in my mind is now that even if there's a major project in the works, I think I can do it now. He continued, now, instead of how can I handle this, it's I can handle this when I'm making songs for other people to listen to. When asked if he's interested in pursuing anything on his own, the singer said that he did have an idea in mind. So it sounds like they're all going to do their solo things, and that's a good opportunity for them to sell 7 times more albums than they're selling as a group. So I can't blame them for going solo. I thought about going on a variety show to make myself happy, not for the group or because my popularity or for work, because filming those shows might put me in a happy mood, he told the outlet. There are some things about variety shows that are tough, of course, but it's also your chance to laugh your head off on set all day. Variety shows are a huge thing here in Korea, where they put the stars in certain situations and then they just yuck it up for the cameras. He continued referencing the Las Vegas concert where he partially watched from the sidelines due to a finger injury. I mean, I don't get it. But that's me. Like, why would a finger injury stop you from singing? But it does, I guess. I talked about how I felt like I was watching both the other members and Army at the most recent concert, right? So I want to do it to enjoy myself. I'm on stage and putting on a performance, but watching BTS concert close up at the same time. I'm on a variety show, but watching that show up close, whatever that means. Each member sat down with the magazine separately in celebration of their new album, Proof, with the interviews also rolling out individually. So far, only Jin and J-Hope's has been published. Meanwhile, during a South Korean band's annual Festa dinner to celebrate their 2013 debut, members RM, and you'll see they founded in 2010, debuted in 2013. That was a 3-year training period, I believe, where they all had to learn to sing, dance, and set their styles and get their fashion shit in order. Members RM, Jungkook, J-Hope, Jin, V, Jimin, and Suga tearfully informed fans that they're taking a break from BTS to pursue solo projects and decide their next direction as a group. We already had that quote there. V26 insisted that the group's hiatus isn't a breakup and that later, when we gather again as a group, that synergy will be like no other. We can hope. Echoing his comments, J-Hope 28 assured fans that the hiatus will be positive for the group members. I think we should spend some time apart to learn how to be one again, as we said in the previous article. He said during a live streamed event, I hope you don't see this as a negative thing and see it as a healthy plan. Continued J-Hope, I think BTS will become stronger that way. So again, that's a statement from Jin, one of the 7 members of the boy band BTS, on their breakup. They are over, done with, and through for the time being. They've all got to go out and do their own solo projects, try to make a little bit of more money. They're now pushing the end of their 20s, and it might be time for them to start dating, because that's the thing that a lot of the boy bands and girl bands have as part of their contracts. They're not allowed to date. They're not allowed to do these other things. And maybe now is the time where they want to actually get out and meet somebody and have a relationship with somebody. I don't know if it's still that old school way, but way back in the day when I cared slightly more about K-pop, that was kind of the big thing. That was, if someone was caught dating and the word got out, they were done. They were out of their respective bands. But who knows how that's going to work out? All you BTS Army people out there that are just joining me for the very first time, and those of you that are my regular viewers that are watching this, let's see what the future brings. And in the meantime, just let me remind you to please like and subscribe to this video. Like the video just because I'm making it, and subscribe to me if you want to hear more about Korean news, Korean culture, uh, legal vices. We do restaurant tours. We're going to be doing vlogging around town and around the country, and we also do the regular legal work. The legal stuff is a bit more raw and gritty and opinionated than K-pop articles and things like that. So if that's your thing, look at some of my other videos and see if this channel's for you. And if it is, please subscribe. I would love to have your subscription. But as I said, we do legal stuff here as well. So there is breaking entertainment legal news. Well, it was breaking a couple of days ago, but I thought I would just mention it now. It deals with Britney Spears, who, as the entire world knows, was under a conservatorship for years and years and years, I believe 13 years. And during that, she had to get permission from her father to do anything she wanted. She wasn't allowed to get married. She wasn't allowed to make the financial decisions for herself. But now all those restrictions are gone, and she's a free woman. And one of the first things she decided to do was get married. And as part of her marriage, to her I guess longtime boyfriend, she had a rather private message. But one of her ex-husbands, or this was the guy that she knew from high school, and they grew up together, and then they got married, and they were married for a grand total of 55 hours before it was annulled. And this guy apparently crashed her wedding. He live streamed a video of him going through her house looking for Britney. He seemed to be somewhat intoxicated, but he was walking through Britney's house while the wedding was going on, screaming, "Where's Britney? Britney, where are you? Where's Britney?" And he gets confronted by the security guards. The security guards take him into their care and custody, and the police get called, and he gets hauled off. But he was looking for Britney at the wedding, saying he's the true love and all these other things. But well, she filed for and they got a restraining order against him. This is from The Guardian. That's a lovely picture. Brittany's a good girl. She's a nice woman. She's fantastic, I think. Glad to see her out on her own, making her own decisions. But here's the article. Jason Alexander, not the actor Jason Alexander, the hometown long-term from knowledge friend, I guess, of hers before they got married for their grand total of 55 hours. Britney Spears' ex-husband, Jason Alexander, has been charged with stalking her after he appeared unannounced at her wedding last week. Again, he didn't just appear unannounced at her wedding last week. He broke into her house and live streamed him trying to find her. That's a little bit more than appearing unannounced at the wedding last week. After streaming a video live on his Instagram at the wedding venue in which he claimed that Spears had invited him and said, "I'm here to crash the wedding," not the best thing to live stream if you plan on mounting any type of defense, Alexander was confronted by security guards, arrested, and taken to a local jail. Spears' wedding to Sam Asghari, her third husband, went ahead. At a hearing on Monday in Ventura County, California, Alexander pleaded not guilty to charges of stalking, trespassing, battery, and vandalism. An altercation occurred with security officers, and that's where the battery occurred. Yeah, he didn't look like he was ready to take on the security guards. The police spokesman said, and during that altercation, an item was broken, so that's where the vandalism comes into play. And by being on private property, the trespass comes into play. A judge gave Alexander a restraining order. So Britney got a restraining order against Jason Alexander, and the order states that he must stay 100 yards away from Spears for at least 3 years. His bail was set at $100,000. That's a huge bail. And to me, that sort of implies that the judge thought he posed a credible threat to her safety. That's how much they want to keep him in jail. He'd likely have to get a bond for that, which, if it's still the way it used to be back in the day, a bond can be bought for 10% ish of the face value. So a bond would cost it $100,000 bond would probably cost him around $10,000. Alexander and Spears, who were childhood friends, married in 2004, but the marriage was annulled less than 3 days after less than 3 days. Yeah, 55 hours it lasted. She was then married to second husband Kevin Federline between 2004 and 2006, and now Britney has bought a house apparently in the local neighborhood of Kevin Federline, so they'd be closer to the kids. We've the scratching you hear is my dog on the floor playing with things. So let's move on to the story here. Spears met Asghari on a music video set in 2016, and they got engaged September 2021. Their marriage comes amid greater freedom for Spears following the dissolution in November 2021 of a controversial conservatorship that controlled many aspects of her life. The wedding was attended by stars including Madonna, Donatella Versace, and Paris Hilton, though various members of Spears' family did not attend. So that's it. She's got her restraining order against her creepy husband that crashed the wedding, and he cannot go within 100 yards of her for at least the next 3 years. And we'll see how long it takes him to bail himself out of jail if he hasn't already done so. And then later, now that he's pleaded not guilty to these charges, they'll go through the criminal process, and he will either plea bargain to something less or he'll go to trial. And if he's smart, he'll probably plea bargain out of it. And we'll have to see how that goes as well. These are just a couple quick little bites I wanted to mention. We wanted to get the BTS tragedy of them breaking up. I know there are fans around the world that are taking this with a massive dose of shock. And to get into some legal news of Britney Spears. So that's our singing entertainment news for the day. I'm Legal Vices, and thank you for joining me. I am here with my official Johnny Depp Mega Pint Legal Vices glass full of a dark and stormy, which is rum, ginger beer, lime juice. And until we meet again, like, subscribe, and remember to enjoy your legal vices. Cheers.